This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube. I am going to do a wrestling news update slash blog next, but I wanted to do a custom one just because a lot of the UFO fans always ask me about the Epstein files, and we got some big news out of them today. The government released a bunch of retracted ones, and we see Bill Clinton on TMZ here relaxing in a hot tub, which apparently is a redacted young person. And then this one's redacted too. It's hard to tell her how old she is, but this is apparently all has to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I've seen the Netflix movie, so I don't claim to be an expert. And ATF Media again is bringing up that it is redacted. I want to know what your thoughts are. Remember in a wrestling to talk about wrestling, remember how weird it was for a while WWE around the time of WrestleMania 10? They were bringing in a fake Bill Clinton, a Bill Clinton impersonator to the shows. And then how ironic later they actually have Jim Cornette, or not Jim Cornette, Donald Trump actually on the shows doing angles and stuff. He did turn down going to Cena's last match last week, though. I don't know if it had to do with the Saudi Arabia ring or he just didn't care to go. But I'll be back with a blog. But definitely, this is pretty bad if that is a kid on on Epstein Island. There, I mean that's pretty bad for Bill Clinton. I think he'd been pretty much forgiven for the Lewinsky stuff. It was such a big deal at the time, and people actually wanted to remove him. But in 2025, I think, other than this coming out now, Clinton was one of the more beloved presidents. I feel, anyways. And I remember, speaking of Lewinsky, I'm from the same town as Tom Green. I did a short interview with Tom Green once. But back when the Tom Green show was being filmed in Ottawa, he brought Monica Lewinsky to Ottawa during that whole scandal and was bringing her around town, and it was making news everywhere. And I remember he woke up his parents in the middle of the night to wake them up with Monica Lewinsky. Then, of course, Jackass kind of took over from where Tom Green started, and Tom Green ended up being real lame in the end. I'm not surprised how much it's redacted because, as I said, I've seen a lot of the UFO files that have been released over the year. There's a lot of a lot of this stuff does give you enough information to understand it's real, but you're not going to get the nitty gritty of it. So, I mean, that's pretty damning. I mean, yes, it's redacted, but I mean, that's pretty damning. I hope it's not an underage kid. I don't know. That's disturbing. Does anyone remember Buck Zumhoff from wrestling? Rock and Roll Buck Zumhoff, who was banging the underage girls. Memphis was a famous territory for underage girls. In an interview I did, of course, Lawler had the big scandal over it, which I believed was resolved. And Bill Dundee did say in an interview with me that he didn't know if their IDs were checked, if they'd all be checked out or not. So I don't know what it is with the Memphis territory and that, but it seemed like for whatever reason in that territory, it was more of an issue than with others. But let me know what you think in the comments.